why is Busta Rhymes so underrated? Why is the Busta Rhymes never, when people start talking about the greatest MCs of all time, why does Busta Rhymes' name almost never comes up? Is it because he doesn't have a definitive classic album in most people's minds? I mean, when you start to talk about longevity, 30 years of emceeing, high level lyricism, entertainment value, if you start to weigh in heavily what MC really means, move the crowd, you start to weigh in heavily live performance. I can't think of but one other person that could match Busta Rhymes on the level of he steps on stage. Once he steps on stage, it belongs to him. Why is Busta Rhymes not considered in these conversations? Jammin' One, what do you think? Huh?
Because he's animated. Animated MCs don't get the respect that they deserve.
And why is that? That's just a personal bias. I've heard this before. People have told me that he's too animated for them. Why?
It's hard for me to answer. It's the same reason why Ludacris don't get the respect that he deserves.
He does deserve more.
But nobody ever puts him in the top 5. You know?
Top 25, it seems like, for some reason.
Yeah, it's like something about being animated like that kind of like make people not really take you seriously. And I can't really explain that, but there's something to that.
I should have asked you last, because that's actually what I've been hearing a lot of times. Skills Mega, what do you think?
I think that is just maybe his legacy, and that's unfortunate, right? I think Andre 3 Stacks said that on Royal Flush, right? He said that when you come unfortunate, they consider you lame. Thought the name of the game was to have a better life. I guess it ain't what it's saying. You feel me? I think that Busta Rhymes is hindered by his success as far as the respect aspect of his lyricism. I think that because he's mainly known for being a great performer, and he's mainly known for how creative his videos are, and just the artistry aspect more so than the MCing aspect, I think that he doesn't really get the respect he deserves as a lyricist. I think also that Jammin' One is right. Like, he's very much so animated. Like, if you listen to The Roots, right, they have a song called New Year's at JD's where they rap over like this rare J Dilla beat. Black Thought basically does a Busta Rhymes impression where he really doesn't say anything but the rhyming words. And it's a joke, and Busta Rhymes found it funny from what I hear, but all good jokes contain true shit. That's really how some people feel about his rap style, is that he is mainly just saying shit and he makes it rhyme, but he doesn't really say anything. I know he says shit, but a lot of people don't really know that because of how animated his style is.
Leviathan, what would you like to add to that discussion?
Well, I mean, that was some very astute observations and breakdowns by both of y'all. It's a really interesting question, fascinating to kind of examine why is the case, because I remember a time not incredibly long ago, like within this millennium, where Busta Rhymes was routinely mentioned in those conversations. I remember a time when like people were having the Busta Rhymes Jay-Z debate. Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z even kind of was like hinting that they might battle each other, just because, you know, Busta Rhymes was like, hey, you know, y'all talking about he the best, but I got all the same stats. Because if you're talking about lyrical skills, you're talking about performance acuity, you're talking about hit records, you're talking about creativity and artistry. A lot of the things Skills pointed out as reasons people look to Busta Rhymes in that way, as opposed to his lyrical skill, to me, are reasons that he should be in the conversation. We didn't, blasphemously enough, we didn't even mention him enough in that last discussion we had. But, you know, for me, he's definitely in that top 10.
I brought him up. I can't keep him out of the top 10. Can't keep him out of the top 10.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
I put him above Eminem. I point to the Eminem and Busta Rhymes collab, where I often break down in a scientific like manner how Eminem went really, really dope, and then Busta Rhymes is like, nice. Now let me show you the next level.
You talk about calm down.
Calm down. Like, to me, like, it's hard to keep Busta Rhymes out of the top 5, but you absolutely can't keep him out of the top 10 for all of the reasons. I remember there was a time when there was a string of Busta Rhymes where he had like 5 straight #1 songs that were all extremely lyrical and all had incredibly artistic and creative videos. Like,
we can skip over the Herb Money era Everything else Busta Rhymes ever did was incredible.
Right, and I think Extinction Level Event is a classic album.
Extinction Level Event 2 is unbelievable. I just stopped listening to it like last year.
Right,
it's
unbelievable.
We didn't
talk about the album he put out like 3 years ago, which is one of the best albums of that entire year. So like,
unbelievable.
Like,
yeah.
Why isn't Busta Rhymes mentioned more? Are people serious?
They can't possibly be. They can't possibly be. He has all of the stats, as you said, to be considered one of the greatest of all time. And like I said, if you weigh heavily live performance in your criteria, he starts to inch closer to that #1 spot. He's still here after like 30 years. Way back from Leaders of the New School to Scenario, some of those classic songs of all time.
40 years.
The shit with Tribe, Woo Ha, which is still one of my favorites. I mean, I just Busta Rhymes is unbelievable.
They say Busta Rhymes started the whole feature thing.
Right, just shutting features down. All the way up to the song with Chris Brown and Lil Wayne, shutting features down.
That was crazy.